Right, so today then guys, we're going to be looking at dropping in the TAC-Pack starter kit from Longbow into this OD Green TAC-41. So today, as stated, we're going to be dropping in some upgrades to the stock TAC-41 LS. We have the V2 Chub knob, the 80-degree bucking, the Medusa 2DC hot wheel, and a RAPAX 2 Plus light pull spring. Not done this before, so we're going to see how this goes. So these three here shouldn't be really tight anyway, but these are what hold in the barrel onto the TAC-41. Just give these a little loosen. This Allen key does come in the kit. Get these out of the way. It should turn to the side hopefully, and might need to undo them a bit more. They sound pretty loose. Ah, a little wiggle. Little wiggle. And out she comes. And there's the barrel. And then, see, round pinging out of the feed ramp now. There's nothing holding them in, so I imagine they'll just, all come out. And there should be 20 there, roundabouts. That's what the ramp holds. Pop that in there. Right. And then let's go for, so just inside here, I don't know if you can see that, there's in front of the trigger, there's a little threaded hole. So this screws into there, just pull the trigger release out of the magazine release out of the way. And it should just be a case of pulling that out. And then the bolt assembly, I believe, should, he says, that's annoying. Right, let me just sort out. So the cheek rise is too high. Just wing that up slightly. It's getting in the way of the actual bolt coming out for future reference. There we go, and that is the cylinder and everything out. There is no guide rings in this. You can pick them up, and I think I will do. I think I will end up picking some of them up just to make things slightly easier and less aggressive on the actual cylinder itself. Oh, might not even need the spanner, but we'll use it anyway. So this spanner comes in the kit. I don't know how aggressive this is going to be when it comes out. We'll try and keep finger and thumb over it so it doesn't shoot across the shot. So we've got our cylinder head and nozzle, piston itself, and a spring. So you can feel the difference between these springs. Oh, there is a bit of difference, but let's give this a go. That should just slide all the way back down. Then cylinder, oh sorry, piston. And then without trapping any underneath the lip of the piston itself. Just give that a little nip, a little tiny tighten. That should be it, new spring installed. Fairly easy. Let's see if it goes back in as easy. Just going to give the trigger a pull. I don't know if you can see down inside the actual chamber there, inside the receiver. You've got the trigger sear, so if I pull the trigger, yeah, it comes down. So pull that down, and in she goes. And that's it, back in place. And then we will slide this back in, whichever way it wants to go back in. And it goes up to the back. There we go. Just double check now that yeah. Just go for a better seal with a glove. Yeah, great air seal there. So that is that done. I'm going to move on to this part, which I think is going to be the harder bit. Changing to the Medusa hop, TDC hot wheel. So we've got the wheel itself, some smart decal on it, a rubber O-ring, a smaller screw and a bigger screw. I think it's the big one we need. I believe the little one might be to replace the bottom one, maybe. Not entirely sure. A 3mm. Yeah, 3mm Allen key. Take that off. Now if you can see the notching difference on there. See if I can get that to just focus on that for a minute. Obviously this is the Medusa hop wheel. The increments and the fine-tune adjustment you'll be able to get on your hop compared to the original one is a massive difference. So hopefully that will help and just make things slightly easier. So the O-ring has stayed with that, and there is a shim as well. And I believe, is that the, that's not going to want to come out. I believe this is the, if it wasn't covered in silicone. Silicone lubricant, I believe. Right, let's see if we can get that out after. We've got, that is not a 3, huh? Okay, doesn't want to do that. Let's try the actual Allen key that comes with it. There we go. Just a little bit tight. But that's that out now. What we got there anyway. Standard street racers around here, ripping through the streets. Now this is actually meant to be a bit of a nightmare to come out. There we go, I knew that was going to come out. So this is what the indexing goes off. It's a little sprung ball. I'm not entirely sure if the spring it's going to come out as well. It might do, it might not. Or if it has and I've missed it, then I'm going to be with some issues. Let's just see if we can get this started. It's going quite easily actually. Fair enough, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Now I do know that this item is spring loaded as well, this little red item. So I'm going to try and keep fingers on that as it comes out. Use something a little bit longer, so use the actual spring that came out of it. There we go, so that's just sprung into my hand, then into my thumb. So, right, okay, so previous things that I've seen, this had 3 of these in varying sizes going down the barrel. Obviously, they have done away with that, maybe because it was so hard to get out, but it's not really ideal, to be honest with you. That may not even be sprung loaded anymore, it may just sit in there. They've made a few changes. So that must just sit in there then, and the spring must be part of it now. Must be the case. Must have changed quite a bit then, because I do know that people were having issues with like shredding the rubbers, the hop rubbers, as they were trying to take them apart to change them. They were absolutely shredding it, getting them out. So this is obviously the new polycarbonate design, I believe, if that's the one that this is. So if this is that, then it'll make life a lot easier for the nuts and everything do come off. Okay. Strip tray for them. Keep all that together. Keep that in one piece. But yeah, so if this is the case and this is the new design that are coming with them, it will be a bit easier by the looks of it to change the hop up rubber, as opposed to having to shred it every time. Now I'm going to go with this must just come apart into 2 pieces, which it does. So that nut there has come out of there, obviously for holding the hop unit, the wheel on top in. I'm not entirely sure what. Let's get rid of that. That's the old one. That is solid. It's literally just a solid piece of plastic. Not entirely sure what the. Oh, that's in there. There we go. So I'll look down the barrel. In all honesty, it doesn't look that bad. I was expecting to need to give this a clean, and the actual barrel quality looks really good inside. As much as it's a brass barrel, I think it's a 6.05, so I might in the future change that over to something a little bit smaller, maybe a 6.03 or even a 6.01. That's what I've got running in the Freya at the moment, and that seems to be running quite nicely on that. But we shall see. I know you don't necessarily need to go stupidly tight with the snipers, but like I say, we will see. I'm not entirely sure what this is. Like I say, it could be one of the lighter ones. We can get it off. It is a lot softer. It is a lot softer than this 80 that I've got. The patch looks identical. The actual lip looks slightly damaged on the inside of there, and I don't think that was from me taking it off then, to be honest. I don't believe. So let's get this new one on. Slots in nicely. It's going to be easier to align this as well because it's got little notches. Sorry, the little notches you have in the AG barrels, because that's what this is, an AG one. In the bottom and in the top actually, so I'll be able to show you in the top. It's got, where are we, if we can focus, it's got little guides here that the Allen key's stopping on there, which should help centre the barrel. So that's good. And then up, oh, that was really a pain. Sorry, I don't know how to do this now. Do this upside down. And then we can flip it back over. To be honest with you, that was really easy. So I'm expecting something else to go wrong, because you can't go that easy. Like I say, if it is because they've changed things, then fair play, hats off to them. Obviously people had issues with these in the past, and if they've took that on board and changed it, then fair play. You can't grumble at a company that does that. If people have had issues and like they've said about it and nothing's changed, then like companies don't listen, or they're not really bothered. They're just on about selling. I know all companies are on about just selling, but like companies that listen to people when they've had issues, that's the kind of company that you want to get products off. If you've had an issue or somebody else has had an issue, and like they raise it to the company, and then the company changes like the item, or they improve the item, it's always a good thing. Like I say, that those are the companies that people build trust in. Then they trust, and they look at because they know they're going to get listened to. Like I say, can't fault that, so hats off to Longbow for that. Massive well done there. And that obviously they're not the only company out there that do it, but some companies, they're not interested in what the little man says, if you like, when it comes down to these kinds of things. So like I say, that's a good one there. Brownie points there. Right, let's give these all a little tighten up. Not with this being new anyway. Let's get this shim off, because I don't believe we need the shim for the Medusa. So that is it. The hot window looks nice and central. Wonder if we can put the Chub knob in now. And I was saying that red one that I've removed was solid. I'm not entirely sure what this one is. I'm guessing it's going to have some flex to it, possibly. Maybe not, no. So, what it has got different though, so that is the top of, get it to focus, the top of the normal one there that's come out, and then the Chub knob, which is solid, has a much more curved surface to it, so it's going to apply a slightly, I'd say a slightly sharper, but less aggressive, if that makes sense. So the force won't need to be as high to get it to do what it needs to do. So there is a flat part on this side, which I believe goes in like that, he says. It's not going in. It might be the other way. No, there we go, it's gone now. Yeah, so it does have a flat on it, so it actually can't rotate, which is, that's good as well. Just get this back in then, really. I believe that I'm pretty much done there. Obviously before I slide this all the way in, let's pop this item back in. And then the arrows go forwards and backwards. And that just sits back in there. Now there is a bit of pressure that I'm putting on that to get that back in. Not tons, but there is a bit of pressure. I don't know if it's because I've not put it in straight, but should be able to rotate the item in theory. So you can see down there that the rubber bung has actually got stuck, and in all honesty I'd rather that was at the end, so I'm going to bring that back out, choose the spring again. So it's obviously going to be one to watch out for, because that could slide so far down that it's not actually going to do anything. Just going to take it off, see if it's going to sit in the end. Which it will do, it'll sit in the end, so I'm wondering if it's going to be easier to slide this in and then just poke it into the end of that rubber seal. Would that make life a little bit easier? May have to lift the barrel slightly as it comes down. Definitely makes it easier to spin the hop unit. So I'm just going to use, well, I'm sure someone will have a go at me here, but gently use the Allen key just to lift that barrel in. And that's gone nicely into the end there now. I don't know if you can see that. And that's now centered. And we're almost there now with the hop unit itself, somewhere there. And the barrel pokes through ever so slightly. We need to go a tiny bit more. Just line the hole up at the bottom. A little bit more again. And this is just making sure that you get it right. You don't want to start too far there. Too far, Tony. There we go. Don't want to start cross threading, obviously bolts in, because it's going to be an absolute nightmare to sort it afterwards. Where's the other gig on that one there? So the last thing you want to do is start cross threading parts. As much as some people might say it's a natural thread lock, it is not ideal. Obviously that bolt, the nut in the bottom of this hop unit wobbles around. There you go, I've turned it upside down, I've caught it now. Just a little bit of pressure. Right, so this now then, the Medusa hop unit. You've got the thread wheel and an O-ring. O-ring just sits on the bottom, like that. I don't think it matters on its orientation. Just gonna pop it on, sits on there like so. Drop that in, put the Allen key in. That is a 3. That's not a 3 either, that's a 2.5. That's a 3. Just tighten it down into the top of the hop unit itself. And then basically the Medusa wheel threads on. And then I'm just going to have a look to see when it starts. Applying hop, to be honest with you. Not I can see down there properly. There we go. And you can bring it down quite a way. So if I take it back off, so that's it off. But you can't actually feel friction, even though it's clicking away. Like there, I can start feeling friction. But like these clicks are so small. So to tune in that hop would be quite nice. And I believe as well, like say if you just wanted to remove the hop, I can actually go back through that. Yeah, so there now, I've gone through the top of the wheel and I'm into the screw. So if I just wanted to change the nub and not necessarily adjust this at all, I could merely hold the Medusa wheel in place, unscrew it, and as long as the orientation is back in, I could just screw back on with a new nub. But yeah, again, like I say, that's nicely in there. Shouldn't poke through here now, should just sit flush, he says, like that. Nicely done. And then it should be a case of slide this back in, wiggle it into place, bring it round to the top. Don't have to absolutely ram it round. And then it's basically a case of nipping these up now. Do them evenly, but these don't need to be graunched up either. Probably just there is enough, like just one finger. Like I say, I'm not putting tons of pressure into this. And then as long as the barrel doesn't move, which it doesn't, we are then job done and back in. Let's have a look, see if it fires, see what we come up at. The spring pull is still really nice. Obviously it is the light pull series from RAPAX. This is on 3.2s. I do have a before. Right, this is the thing again. So the mag did have rounds in, and all it's done is filled the feed ramp. Which is slightly annoying, because it means that, I don't know, effectively your last 20 rounds in the magazine you're not getting, because nothing's pushing it back into the feed chamber. 0.85. Like I say, I'll have to adjust the hop outside. I would have thought it would have gone up a touch more. Might need to bed in ever so slightly. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it would put it around about 2, maybe just over. I mean, it does say it's a 2+. I don't know, we'll see. It could be, like I say, the spring needs to bed in and the hot rubber needs to bed in. But we shall see over the next, I don't know, next couple of game days, see if I can get some footage and go from there. But that's it guys, that is how simple it is to change the spring in the actual cylinder itself and to fit a Medusa TDC Hot Wheel. Don't forget to like and subscribe guys. Thanks very much for watching.